Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you guys for joining in. My name is Davida, alongside my husband Rodney. We are fighting for freedom, where I fight, you fight, and together we fight. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are here every third Sunday at 7. This is a platform designed for those who are incarcerated and those who are not, who are free, who are fighting for something. We have a very special guest for you today, but before that, my husband wants to say a few words. Come on, babe.
Peace and blessings, everybody, and welcome back to the Fighting for Freedom podcast series, where we bring real stories, real struggles, real growth, and real redemption to the table. I'm your co-host, Yahya, and tonight's episode is one that's powerful, emotional, and necessary. Tonight, we're sitting down with a man who has just walked back into society after serving 20 years in prison. My guest, Mr. Bobby Head Jr., 20 years behind the wall, 20 years separated from family, technology, freedom, and everyday life as most people know it. But tonight isn't just about incarceration. It's about survival, transformation, accountability, resilience, and what it means to fight for your freedom mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. A lot of people judge a man by his worst mistake. But tonight, we're going beyond the paperwork and the prison number to hear the human being behind the story. We're going to talk about the realities of prison life, the mindset it takes to survive 2 decades inside, what changed him during those years, the struggles of reentry, and what freedom feels like after so much time gone. So, wherever you're listening from, lock in with us tonight. This conversation might educate you, inspire you, challenge your perspective, or even help somebody you love. Mr. Bobby, welcome to Fighting for Freedom podcast, bro.
Man, what's up, bro? Man, thank you too. First and foremost, I give honor to God, man, for just blessing me with this day. Been a long time. Um, I'm on your podcast with you and your wife. Y'all not strangers um, at all. Me and you, I've been knowing you, y'all, for over 20 years. We was on the same tier. You know, as we were just saying, I was passing out ice to you not too long ago. So this is really a emotional time though, because man, not only are you my brother, man, but you are a friend. So man, I just thank y'all for this day, and I'm grateful to be here today. And it's only by God's grace that I'm here, to make it from behind them walls. So man, thank you for just having me as a guest. Thank your wife. Thank you, Mr. Vita, for having me today. And I could just remember just coming to the slot saying to you, tell your wife, man, I said hello, man. I said, man, I'm gonna get on you. I'm gonna let your wife know what you're doing in here, y'all. And it's just it's a
Yeah.
serious
Oh,
thing though,
man.
man. Just it's so surreal to just be talking to you and being on this side though. And
Yeah,
man,
so
I'm
how,
praying for you. Wait for you to get on this side as well.
inshallah, man, it'll come. You know what I mean? What's from you won't miss me. You know how it goes, bro. I
Yes,
say, but
sir.
how do it feel to finally be free after 20 years, man?
Man, man, when I left North Branch the day they let me out, man, it was like a dream, man. Just that ride, it was just unreal though, you know what I mean? And definitely took time to adjust, you know what I mean? Just the small things, we were just being in North Branch and just being in the mountains, I didn't even see no cars. And just riding in a van, man, I was car sick. So just where we was at, just it's just mountains around us. Only thing we seeing is gates, concrete, and just mountains. And so man, it just feels wonderful though. I want to say, man, it feels great, man, just to be out, man. I cherish everything, even the small things, man. Just to take a walk is big for me. You know what I mean? So it's just so many things. It's just so grateful. And just man, I'm just in awe though, man. I'm still adjusting. I'm still taking it in. I'm still experiencing new things though. You know what I mean? So it's just a blessing, y'all.
Yeah. I say looking back at who you were before prison compared to who you are now. What's your perception of
Oh man, I'm a total different person. You know, even when I talk to some of my little homies, man, and some of my brothers and even family members, they say, man, you totally different. But, I came to prison when I got locked up. I was in DC. I was 21 years old. When I got out, I was 42. So I spent my whole 20s and 30s in prison.
Yeah.
So just maturing, growing and learning. You know, I grew up in prison. Half of my life was on the street and half of it was in prison. So I'm a totally different man in wisdom, understanding, values, principles, and just discipline as well. The prison taught me a lot though. It also opened my eyes up just how, you know, making one decision or just decisions, how it affect your life and how it affect your whole life. My father would always sit me down and tell me that, the danger of life is that you can do a whole lot of great things, but if you do one thing,
Yeah.
just one, he said it affect your whole life. And it's going to affect all the people that are connected to you. So um, it just made me really reflect though and really look in the mirror and really see my own actions and see that I really had to change though, and how it affected my mother, how it affected my father, how it affected my sisters and people that looked up to me. And I didn't know the impact that I would have or I had on people's lives. And it just made me really sit down and reflect though. But man, that prison, man, I'm telling you, it will change you. You know what I mean?
it?
It
Absolutely,
will.
for sure.
It will change your life,
So,
especially being in the maximum security prison.
right, right. I mean, so with that being said, man, what was the hardest part um about you serving such a long sentence? What was the hardest part of your sentence?
Uh, I would say, man, just being away from my loved ones, just seeing their pain on my mother, my father, my sisters, just, people who were my friends and lost loved ones. Being in 20 years, you lose loved ones, you lose friends. You know, I wasn't really worrying about me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I take accountability for whatever I've done in my life. It was hurtful to see them hurting. You know what I mean? So and how it really changed their life though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And that
mean,
can be,
one thing about being ahead, man, as you mature, your perception towards everything else and everybody else that was on your platform definitely changed, man. I mean, you definitely take things into consideration or observe things, man, that one time we didn't even pay attention to. Not that we didn't want to, we just was in ignorance, you feel me?
Yeah. No, you are correct. And like you said, it wasn't that I didn't care. It's just that, when you young, you're not really thinking about, prison wasn't on my bucket list.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Prison wasn't on my bucket list. I want to say that. I wasn't looking to go to prison at all. I didn't think about prison. But just being in prison and able to sit down and able to think and be with yourself and be with your thoughts. A lot of times when you out here in the world, especially when I got out, man, everything is moving fast. I mean, when I say it's moving fast, Lord have mercy. Listen, it is moving fast out here. It seems like when I lay down, it's time to go back to work. You know what I mean? So it's never enough time in the day. You know what I mean? So, but when you are there, you can really sit down and really slow down and really think and say, man, and really get your life together. You know what I mean? I think that's why. I was able to get out, man, and really prosper because I sat down for so long,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate it. It make you appreciate life though. You know what I mean? You think about life totally different, especially the time that we got. You know what I mean? They sentenced me to 95 years, and that was the minimum. You know, that's a death sentence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a death sentence, regardless if it's a number. They said I was getting out in 2099. That was my release date. You know, so I said, man, I'm gonna sit down, man. I gotta really, man, get my life together.
Yeah. I wanted to just piggyback on something that you said earlier when you said, you can do 1,000 things right and you do that one thing. And not only does that one thing mess up everything, but people will never forget it. They'll forget all of the good things you did. They'll forget
Mm,
all of the great
boy,
things you did. That one thing that you've done, they will not let you live it down. And it's like everything that you did prior to that doesn't even count. It doesn't
man.
even count. And the ones who you think that would be the most forgiven aren't. They are the ones who beat you up more, make you feel bad about it. They just act like they don't want to give you, the benefit of the doubt or whatever. And it might only took you 2 seconds to get in that situation, and then you're in it forever. And like
Absolutely.
you said, I remember those days saying hey to you, saying hi, and now you're out doing some amazing things. I've watched you on YouTube. I said, look at him. It's
Yes,
definitely
man.
inspiration. It's definitely something that the guys on the inside and on the outside can say, like, if he can do this and he's been home, what, 2 years? Like, what am
Yes,
I
man.
waiting for? What's holding me back? So,
Absolutely.
what was that like? Getting sentenced to 99 years. What would that feel like?
When you get a sentence like that, it's like you just stunned though. You just stunned. You don't even really get a chance to really process it right away. You know what I mean? Because everything is moving so fast. You're young, you don't really understand the justice system as
Right,
much.
right.
You know what I mean? You don't understand how he's stacking that thing. As I got older, I understand he put that thing in consecutive.
Right.
He's stacking it up to load that number up. But you really in survival mode, Mr. B. You really in survival mode. The whole time you in prison, the whole process you in survival mode. You
Yeah,
can't really,
yeah.
because you're trying to survive.
Pretty
You know
much.
what I mean? You really in survival mode. I didn't even really know until I got a little bit older that I was in survival mode the whole time. Whether you in prison, you're in survival mode all day. We watching our back all day.
Yeah,
We got, y'all can tell you can't come out here with shower shoes on. You gotta have your shoes strapped on tight all day. You gotta be watching what's going on. And it really sunk in after a while, and I said, man, it's 95 years. Man, listen, that is like you 21 years old and they give you 95 years. It's like it's mind boggling.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean? You just stuck.
right.
But
Especially life expectancy, depending on the community you live in, depending on the resources. Sometimes life expectancy isn't even 60 years. So when you already feel like you've lived maybe 20 of those 60 you have, you know, doing 99 or close to it, is
mhm.
something hard to swallow. You have the chat is jumping off. Awesome. Um, I'm sorry, awesome. Nico 17 said Rob Delmont Player said he agrees with you. Is someone in the chat named Troy G4Z? He said good to see you home, my guy. So they're here, they're supporting you, and it's good to see.
It,
So tell me about what was the process? What took place for you to be able to get home and not have to face that 95 years?
first and foremost, God opened the door up.
Yeah,
I had to really. trusting God. I
Yes.
mean, I had to really put my faith in. You know, some of the people they talk about they really trust God, but when
Right.
you're in a situation where it's hopeless, but I still believe though, you know what I mean? Through this process, you know, my mother and my father, my sisters, and my grandmothers, my family, they stood with me in this situation. And I exhausted all of my remedies, meaning that I went through the appeal process.
Right.
I would win it, and then they would appeal it, and then they would overturn it, and then I would get another lawyer. My folks would help me get another lawyer, and then man, but I didn't give up. We kept fighting. I'm telling you, they go down with the ship with me. They will fight to the death. And my last appeal, and you know what's so crazy? I had all these super lawyers.
Right.
I
Yep.
had the best. I had the best lawyer. I mean, I had the super of the super. You
Right.
know, and the thing about the justice system is that I had the law, but they don't honor their law. That's
Right.
something that I learned while I was in.
Mhm.
That I had the law, and they knew I had the law, but they still denied it. So they was unjust in that way.
Right.
Um, and then at the last time I appealed it, they took it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "Yes, we see that you have this," but they still didn't answer it. They still denied it.
Mm.
I would not make this up. I said, no problem. No problem. It was my last remedy. I had no more other remedies. I couldn't reopen. They ain't let me reopen nothing. So 2020, 2023, our panels broke down, right? They moved us to housing unit one. Y'all remember this. And had a dream. Had a dream. I never forget this day. It was January the 10th. I never forget this day. Had a dream that I was getting out. I was out. They was calling me. They was like, "Hey, come get your stuff." They was rushing me out. And man, I told my parents, I said, "Man, God gonna deliver me. God already been showing me He gonna deliver me." I just believed,
Right.
despite of that, I had no more remedies. I had nothing else. I was once you exhaust your remedies, that means you can't file anything. That
Okay.
mean that means you're gonna die in prison. That's what that means. That means they said you're gonna die. And long story short, I'm telling you, man, I had a dream. 4 days later, I came out to do ice. I was the ice man. That's how I would always come to the
Right.
how they would come to the door. They was on lockdown all the time. Our prison was on lockdown. We was in that North Branch is the worst of the worst. And I would say top in the country. And I would say top in the country,
Right.
and I'm not exaggerating it either. Um, I came out, I passed out the ice, and one of my Christian brothers said, "Man," he said, "Bishop, I got a kite for you." And I looked at him. He said, "Look, everybody know in the prison though, I don't take kites because I don't know what's in the kite.
Right.
I don't know if it could be. I don't take kites." He said, "No." He told me who it was from. I said, "No, okay, no problem." I took the kite, I opened it up, and it was one of my brothers. It was one of my brothers, and he said, "Man," another man sent the kite. Said, "Look," he said, "Man, the brother wants you to call him." And I called him. It was one of my brothers. His name is Wade. His name is Wade Hessler. I got a kite. Wait, I didn't even know where he was at. He was gone for 9 years. I had no contact with him. Remember, I had this dream on the 10th. This was 4 days later. I opened up the kite. We had just changed numbers. I put the number on there and called him. He said, "Bob, man, you've been in my spirit. I've been waiting on you." He said, "Man, I've been looking for you." He said, "I sent the kite." He said, "I told one of the brothers on another tier to send you a kite." I never met this guy. I don't even know him. I called him. He said, "Man, I got a reentry program I want to get you in." He said, man, I wanted to just get your permission. I said, listen, you don't need my permission. Listen, because he was under me when he was in prison. So, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? He followed the proper protocol. You know, he doesn't want to just do stuff. I said, you don't need, I told him the dream or whatever, that I had the dream I was getting out. And I'm telling you, he hung up. We ain't talk 5 minutes. He was already out and he had double life plus 60.
Woo.
He had double life plus 60. He's out right now. Called me the other day. And I'm telling you, God is in the miracle working business.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to tell you, absolutely, he's in the miracle working business. So we hung up the phone. I said, man, take care of that business, man. He called my mother. Man, listen, you don't need to, you trying to get, you need me to get out. You don't need to my permission. He should have made an executive decision. That's what he should have did. So, man, he called it, and man, the ball got going immediately. I'm telling you, man, it was so easy. So I got out through the PG reentry program. You know, it was a blessing, man. And when I say it was a blessing, Lamar Head runs he's a coordinator for the program. This program was basically, it's a court program.
Mhm.
Judge Hill runs the program, and it's really the only program in Maryland. This
Okay.
program is really the model for getting us out that have life and have life sentences. So I went through the process. Long story short, I went through the process for about a year. Here I am today. It's only God's grace. I'm telling you, it was only God's grace. You know what I mean? My folks had helped me. We done spent money and all the things, but God just waited to. I didn't have no more. I didn't have no more remedy, and He wanted to show me that it was Him that delivered
Right.
me.
Right.
Amen.
Right. Well, welcome home. Welcome home. And I know that that was something that you've been waiting on, and I'm glad that it came when it did and how it did. For sure, nothing happens before it's time.
Absolutely.
Um, but
Absolutely.
now that you're home and your feet hit this soil, how has this journey been?
Oh, it's been a journey. What was the great thing about the program was I just didn't automatically get out. I did get out, but I went to the Jude House. It's a place called the Jude House, which is a treatment facility. So I went there for 5.5 months. So that
Okay,
was my transition. So I was able to get out and able to eat some good food, able
I
to
know
go on
that's right.
trips. My first week out, they know I was. When I got to the facility, I came in shackles. We had guys down there that was just, coming from little jail or here and there. I came in a 3-piece. I didn't care. I would have wore that 3-piece to Mexico. I ain't kidding. I was out. I came just like this. And when I got off the van, one of the men that knew me, he said, Bob, what's up? Man, they unshackled me. COs, all of them know me. Said, look, man, you free. Man, I'm telling you, I got in there and I went to work immediately. I was able to go on trips. My first week, you're supposed to be in a blackout.
Right.
No, my therapist was like, man, you've been in prison 20 years. They put me on all the trips. But I went fishing. I ain't never been fishing. I
Wow.
go get my fish from the giant. I ain't never
David
been
Murphy
fishing.
said, "Powerful testimony." Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. They took me, man, um, they let me go fishing. Man, I went on all types of trips out on the water, Potomac, went hiking. Uh, Also, man, went on bike rides with the police. Man, you can
Oh,
imagine. I ain't
yeah.
never hang out with the police. I was hanging out with the police. You know I can't make this up. I'm going on bike rides with the police. The police like, man, look, we need to connect with you. You know what I mean? So I had great influence there. And while I was there, they offered me a job, Mr. Vito. I can't make this up. They offered me a job. So I got out of there, I got out of there, was on the street. I was on the street for about 4 months. They rehired me. In less than 90 days, I became the lead coordinator of the Jude House.
Oh, okay.
Yes, man. And
Okay.
got into the peer recovery specialist program, got my bachelor's degree in ministry while I was there. Also worked on a business degree as well in business management. Um, just finished up getting my peer recovery specialist. I'm getting ready to take the board exam. But so I was down there working, doing what I needed to do. I was grateful. And
Okay.
just transitioning at home, just got a chance to spend time with my family, got a job immediately. And God was just opening the doors up for me. I got a job. I was working at Flagger Force. I became a crew leader within 60 days.
Wow.
And it was just a blessing, you know what I mean? And of course, I had all the stipulations that I had to do with the reentry. We had UAs, we had court. So I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you that you got to be focused. You know what I mean? I didn't hang out. Plus, I don't hang out no more. That old life for me was dead.
Was gone. Yeah.
Listen, I died. I died the day they put the cuffs on me in DC. You know what I mean? I wasn't even scared of the prison, but it was like I knew. You ever seen one of those movies and the person get caught and they know that it's over?
Yeah.
It was one of them feelings.
Okay.
And so I basically just died to all that. But just being out, I didn't hang out. I stayed on my program, went to work, church, ministry, went home. That's all I did the whole time. And just really stayed focused, spent time with my family, my loved ones, friends, went to different events, joined campaigns. I was part of Aisha Brave Boys campaign.
Okay.
I was just, helping in the community. Plus, I wanted to give back as well, rather helping the youth, rather helping senior citizens. You know what I mean? So, I taught a lot of people things that I shouldn't have taught them. So I wanted to really give back to the community. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say this: my transition was different than a lot of other people, and also because I had a lot of family support as well. That's one of the things that a
Okay.
lot of people don't have is they don't have that support. You know what I mean? So I gotta give shout outs to my mother and my father and my sisters, man, for supporting me. You know what I mean? That was big.
Yeah.
So I didn't, what I mean? They surprised me with a car when I got out. It was,
I know that's what's up.
what I mean? It
Yeah.
was they gave me that head start. You know what I mean? So I had a
Okay.
great head start. So I can't say that I did it all on my own. I had to put my work in as well because faith without works is dead. You know what I mean? So, but I had that foundation. Yes,
Well, that's
ma'am.
that's good. Yeah, everybody don't get that running start. Um, you know, and hopefully, you know, people will see that. When I mean by that is not just the people that's in there, but the people who haven't been, who's on the wrong road. Like you do this time, you come out, you miss so much. You miss so much, and then getting back out here, getting acclimated, um, getting a job. Like you said, you was fortunate enough to get a job. Some people they don't get that opportunity. They don't have the
Absolutely.
patience because one thing for sure, this world not gonna wait for you. It's not gonna slow down for you to catch up. So
Absolutely.
you miss all of that time. You gotta put your feet on the ground running, and you gotta make it happen. But what has been the biggest struggle for you now that you're out? What's been the biggest struggle for you?
Um, I would say one of the things is that, you just gotta give yourself time though. You can't leave 20 years and then recover in 20 minutes. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that was one of my things was I didn't really struggle with it. I didn't really have a lot of struggles because I learned all those things in prison, you know, and if you use that time in prison to really develop yourself, when you get out here, you can move quicker. You know what I mean? Just like a lot of guys in the reentry program, we grew up, we matured, we learned to be patient, you know. I mean, I had to be patient for everything in prison. I had somebody
Right.
told me when I was going to take a shower. Somebody told me when I was going to eat. You know what I mean? They feed me through the slot. Everything that I did, I had to wait for somebody to tell me when I could do it. So I was just patient. You know what I mean? And really, I tell a lot of guys, because I help a lot of guys that's coming out now to, get acclimated back into society. I tell them, man, just enjoy the journey. Just enjoy it. You know what I mean? So I would say that's one of the main things is just adjusting. You know what I mean? Adjusting to new technology. Going
Yeah.
to the stores. I went to the
Mhm.
store, man. Me and one of my Christian brothers named Mo. And we in the store. He did 32 years. One of my tight friends. And we was in the store and we went to go get something. And we waiting on a young girl to ring up the stuff. She like, man, what y'all waiting on? She on the phone. If I ain't know no better, I thought she was being disrespectful, but she wasn't. She said, yeah, go ahead, ring it up. We stand there like, ring it up.
I don't work here.
So Mo, he a little, he needed, I got a little bit more grace. I said, he said, man, talk to her, Bob, man. I said, excuse me, miss. I said, no, we don't want to be disrespectful. We just want you to ring our stuff up. She said, it's right there. And I looked, I said, Mo, this is self checkout. you know, I was like, oh my goodness, they don't even have nobody behind the counter now. You know what I mean? So just all the different things adjusting. That is the main thing for a lot of people that's getting out, that's been
Yeah.
gone so long. They're fearful, but I wasn't fearful. I always tell people that, I was out with cell phones and everything. I went to prison. I was not born in prison.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's the difference. I've been in the
Okay.
military. I've been in different states. I experienced a lot of different things. So
Right.
that's one of the main things. You can't be afraid to allow people to teach us too, though. You gotta humble yourself.
Mhm.
My little cousin, that's my little cousin, Nico, awesome Nico. He does my editing on my videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was teaching me this morning. He said, look, this is how you do it. He edited my
Okay.
video, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and he's 9 years old.
Nine.
So he's 9 years old, 9 year old genius. So I just had to learn though. I had to learn from my parents. I had to learn. So I think that's one of the major challenges. And I was understanding that, man, I've been gone 20 years. A lot of things changed out here, you know what I mean? But
Yes.
also one of the other things that's really challenging is that the people in society are so disrespectful, Mr. V. Mr. V.
Yes, they are.
I have never I left and came back to a whole nother world. Cause I grew up, everybody that know me where I'm from, nobody never disrespected me. You know what I mean? Back
Yeah,
in my old life. Um, but the people are so disrespectful. You know what I
man.
mean? And you have to be cautious. They violate I was in maximum security. You don't violate personal space.
Right.
You don't get up behind people too close while they're in line. You know what I mean? You're respectful because we live in here and we understand we have more order because we know that this can cause conflict and we are living here for long periods of time. So we have better structure. So that was one of the things that I had to adjust to.
Yeah.
I had to adjust to all this disrespect out here. You know what I mean?
Disrespectful. People are rude. They are nasty. They are self righteous. They think they are. They are that. And sometimes it's for no reason. Just because it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. They want to be disrespectful.
Man. And you know what? I said this even when I was in, it was amazing how like we would talk to the COs and they would have conversations with us. They said, we love to come in here to talk to y'all because we can get a better conversation with y'all coming to a prison. And a lot of times people are afraid, and this is one of the things, the misconception. They are afraid of us to come out of here. But for real, when we get out, we're more afraid of the people out here. We're more afraid of them. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Audacity
Because
is on sale. Absolutely.
so
Yep.
that was real from being I was in a culture shock from being in prison and also being around the same people, you know,
Yeah.
of course there's violence and people get killed and all the different things, but the violence decrease a lot because we see each other every day.
Every day.
You
Yeah.
know, the men are respectful to hold up, brother. He next in the microwave. Brother, you need me warm your stuff up. You know what I mean? We more politer than we more kind than the people out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was one of the challenges as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
lot of times, you'll see the young kids and some of the older ones, and you want to give them some grace, because you never know what someone is dealing with. But I tell
Hmm.
my husband all the time, the cell phones got these people by the neck. They tripping off the stairs, they falling down sinkhole, like nobody head
Yeah,
is up. Nobody head is up watching where they're going. So,
absolutely.
so it's a lot of help that's needed out here, and people
Absolutely.
just aren't engaging. People aren't engaging. They don't want to see what's next if it's not already on the phone. Nobody want to pick up a book.
Mm.
AI is out of control.
Yes, ma'am. You are correct.
AI is out of control. Like they say, AI is going to replace everything. AI cannot replace everything. AI will not replace everything. People
Absolutely.
need that social connection. People need
Absolutely.
that social connection. Um, yes, Kelly Brand sending out some muscle strong. Yes, India. My boy hasn't locked back. He hasn't looked back since he came home.
That's
India,
my cousin.
that's your cousin. India is in there. She says she's proud of you. But I see that it's a ring on your finger. Miss Donna say, "Welcome home." You got a ring
Yeah,
on your finger, Mister Bobby.
man. God bless me, man, with a beautiful woman, man.
Wow.
I waited. You know, people was telling me when I get out, look, man, you need to do this. You need to do this. Uh, you need to be dating all these women. I was like, man, God gonna bring the right woman to me. You know what I mean? I think, and that was one of the things that I did. I seen something in a lot of men that were getting out. You know, they were getting into relationships immediately, but I wanted to really start to lay my foundation. You know what I mean? To
Right.
really get my life together before God sent me a woman. You know what I mean? But yes, Mr. V, God bless me with a beautiful woman. She probably on here. I'm sure she on here.
She's
But
on here. Okay. Okay.
yeah, but God bless me, man. I'm just blessed. I'm grateful and thankful too.
Congratulations on that. So
Yes,
where
man.
where are you going now? So what is in store for everyone? What's in store that's coming from you?
I'm still going to continue to keep serving the community. Um, right now, I'm still in the community, helping the community. I oversee some transitional homes, helping people in peer recovery as well, and just really helping the community, helping the youth. But my next thing is really right now, and I'm really focusing on launching this ministry,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and also getting a property as well. So God willing, I'll be traveling. I got that passport. I got them passport papers on that bed at home. And
She says, I'm in here.
oh, she in there?
Yeah,
What's
she
up,
says
babe?
she's in here.
So I love you, babe. But yeah, it's just that's the next thing that's coming up. Um, Ministry. Um, Also, man, spending some time with my wife. I would like to be a father one day. That's one of the things that you miss out when you're in prison. So
Mm-hmm.
God willing, pray for me, Mr. V.
I will. You hear that, wife? She on here. You hear that,
Yeah,
Miss
yeah,
Alicia?
yeah, yeah. We praying. We had some twins.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get two out the way. I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone, y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all pray for me. But yeah, I'm just want to just enjoy my life, travel, constantly serve the community, help the youth. You know, I got a lot of youngins that they look up to me and talk to me because they already know I've been there. I've been there and done
Right.
all that. Been there, done that, got the sentence, got the degree in it. And
Right.
but that's one of the things that I see in DC and PG and it's just I just want to tell them, man, y'all don't, and I should tell the youngins down there in the Jew house because I worked down there a whole year. And man, I told them, man, I said, man, y'all don't want this in y'all life. Most of y'all would not survive prison. You know what I mean? You
Right,
ain't no switches in prison. You know what I mean? You ain't got
right,
no guns, and most of y'all can't even fight. You know what I mean? But I mean, straight up, they don't even want to fight. We grew up fighting. You know what I mean? We'll fight multiple times. And but that's one of the things I really want to do. That's why you see me on the videos, whether it's with the youngins that's 10, 11. I want to get them before
right.
the system get them. You know what I
So do
mean?
you have a program? Do you have like a program for
I,
them?
I, that's what I want to start as well.
Right,
I
babe.
want to
Who's the
start.
guy? Who's the guy that was on last week? What's his name? Who's trying to start the program? Who's already working with the youth? Do you know him?
Ain't too many people in prison. I don't know.
Babe, you there? Maybe he's not on. So we had a guest on last month. Um,
Sorry,
and
you can say that again.
what's his name?
LJ.
LJ.
Oh yeah, I know LJ. Man,
So
LJ, me, him, we always on the team together. Yeah, I know
okay, so
LJ.
he's out. LJ came home last month. No, last in November. So he's
Mm,
been out just like maybe 6 months. And
LJ,
he
good
is
dude.
he has a lot going on. He has a lot going on. I think he's in the city. I think he's here in Baltimore. I think it would be a good look. I think y'all probably could connect and and do some things together because he's definitely working with the kids. He go to the schools, he talk to the kids. He, if they get good report cards, he take them shopping, and it's just him. He definitely needs some help. He needs some assistance, and I'm quite sure that y'all two could probably ping off of each other and help one another.
Yeah, man, LJ used to
Okay.
play on my basketball team. Man, him and won championships. I used to get out on the court too. So, but yeah, me and LJ real tight.
So he
But
does,
yeah,
and
that's what.
I think he has a program. And excuse me for forgetting. I just interviewed him last month. But he has a program that's up and running, and like he said, it's just him. He desperately needs some help. And I told him, that, if I hear anything, I find out anything, I will definitely shoot some help his way. So y'all can definitely get you his information since y'all do know each other, and he's out, and his feet is, like he said, his feet has not stopped running since they hit the ground.
Absolutely, absolutely. Boy, he couldn't wait to get out. Matter of fact, LJ came in. I used to cook his stir fries and all the stuff. Yeah, yeah. He'll tell you I used to be his cook. 'Cause I used to be the TID rep. So I was in charge
Okay.
of the TID, you know what I mean? But LJ came, if I'm not mistaken, LJ came in when he was a teenager. I think he was like
Yeah,
16.
he was 16. Yep.
Yeah.
He was
Hmm.
16.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did a good amount of time. I think he might be in his 40s as well. And
Yeah.
he just came home, I think, in November. So he's
Hmm.
fresh out and he's having some struggles. But he definitely have a good group of kids under his wing that he's trying to mentor, and he's struggling. He said sometimes he get three hours of sleep.
Man, I
Yeah.
understand. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna be dealing with the ministry, where we'll have different things that we are doing, where we're doing outreach, where we're helping the children, where we're adopting a high school.
Right.
Uh, but one of my main things is that, see, a lot of people, they went in the reentry program. So the reentry program is an 18-month program. So my main thing was to wait till I graduated. So I just graduated November from the reentry program in 2025.
When you say graduated, you mean like you?
Oh yeah, you got Mr. V. Yes, you got to graduate. You don't
Oh,
graduate, yeah, you don't graduate, you be going back to prison. You know what I mean? So,
so what does the graduation? I mean,
oh,
what is the curriculum like? What you have
well,
to?
I'm just saying, in the program you have stipulations that you have to do. You got UAs, you got to go to see court every 2 weeks. So you got a lot of different things you got to do. You create vision boards. You got a lot of things that you always checking in. But it's a great program. It's not like you in prison or anything of that nature. But you have to be focused. or
Right.
you'll be sanctioned. You know what I mean? You'll start that phase over again. So that
Oh,
was my main thing. Now I graduated now, and I feel like, God is opening them doors up now, and I can really, I feel like, you know, I'm free to do what I need to do.
okay.
You know what I mean? So
So the reentry program, you're not just able to move around and do the things you need to do or you want to do.
yeah, not with. I mean, it was a lot, man. Me working and making UAs 2, 3 times a week and
What's
court.
the,
And,
you talking about your analysis?
yes, man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you have some people that get out, wherever they get out on parole, they may not have a lot of those stipulations. But that was my
Mhm.
case. I didn't care if they wanted to UA 5 days a week. Listen, I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm down to do whatever because I'm out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So now I'm free now, and I can start really putting that plan together. It's coming to pass though. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I said I wanted to do, I already accomplished it though. So
Okay.
you know what I mean? That's one of the things they have you create. So they have you create a vision board. And
Hmm.
I was looking at my vision board recently. I'm like, oh, I'm hitting these goals.
You getting them? Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yes,
Yes,
man.
it's some people out here that don't believe in that. I always tell a
Oh,
lot of people, if you want it, you gotta see it.
yes.
Write it down and look at it. And every day take one step toward, something that you have that you want to do. Even if it's a long-term goal, in order for it to be a short-term goal, you gotta work on it. Or it will
Yes.
forever be a long-term goal. So
Yes,
every
man.
day you should, you know, take steps to something that you want to do, because if
Yes.
you don't, it's going to always be far away.
Absolutely.
So
But I'm definitely
I
I don't
think
have a program, but I definitely already, I preach and minister to people, but I'm on the ground all the way, all the time. You know what I mean, with the youth. You know what I mean. Even men out of their 20s, they call me. You know what I mean. They talk. They might call me in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know
right,
what I mean.
and that's what the guy LJ was saying. He said his phone rings all night. He said it seemed
Man,
like as soon as yes, Mr. Murphy. Hi, I'm sorry, 1 second. David Murphy, can you have the brother to connect with me? You talking about the brother LJ? You know who David Murphy is, Bobby?
I don't know.
So Mr. Murphy, do you want to connect with Bobby, who the guest is now, or the brother that was on last month? Let me know. Um, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah, but that's one of the things. Even like you were saying about them calling. When
Oh
I got
yeah,
out, my
right.
phone was ringing so much. Listen, man, I'm telling you. Listen, it was unreal. You know,
Okay.
but the youth do call me. They FaceTime me. Sometimes I'll be asleep. You know what I
Davida,
mean?
host,
So
fighting for freedom.
Oh, what was that? I'm sorry.
yes, man. But yeah,
I don't know what
definitely,
that was.
we definitely got to get the youth though. We definitely got to get them. We got to get them at the young age. We can't wait till they 18, 19, 20. We got to get them. We
Right.
got to get them at 8, 9. You know what I mean? We got to get them in the schools, man, are so terrible now. You know, it's
Hmm.
it's. But all the men are going to prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things I want to do, man, is just really impact the men. We are the foundation, what I mean, of this society. We need men, you
Right.
know,
When
you
I,
know.
I spoke at the legislative session a few years ago, and I was actually, that was what I was saying. I'm like, these men in prison, y'all holding them up and won't let these guys out, when these are the ones that's going to come out and turn this stuff around.
Absolutely.
One thing for sure, what y'all doing isn't doing it. Y'all out here, y'all putting these laws in place, these stipulations, these restrictions, and y'all think this is what's turning it around, and it's not. So we can see that. We can pull the numbers. Numbers don't lie. We can
Numbers
pull
don't
the
lie.
numbers, and you can see that what you guys doing are not is not working. So why not do something different? Why not try something different? I guarantee you, you let these men out of prison who done served these 20 and 30 year sentences and get them out of here and put their feet to work. Because for sure, and I mean, I hate to say it, not to put my brothers down, but y'all coming out and y'all doing more than people who haven't even been to prison in a
And
short amount of time
I'm
with the
telling
shortest resources. You know, it's crazy. Even LJ said he didn't even have his answering machine set up on his phone because he didn't know how to do it. But yet
Mhm.
this man already has a program. And
Absolutely.
he got a nonprofit already, been out of prison 6 months.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And see, I already started my company. I got my LLC. I just got my
Hmm.
EIN number
Hmm.
as well. I just got it 4 weeks ago.
Okay,
And so I'm getting
congratulations.
ready to, yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm getting ready to launch it. But the thing is, you are correct. When I came home, I mean, you had guys that I was gone 20 years. They didn't even have a cell phone. Even 8-year-olds got cell phones now. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? We was growing
yeah,
up, we ain't had none of that.
yep,
So, but because is that when we are in, what I mean, we we are grateful for the opportunity.
right.
You know what I mean? You can't say in this time that you can't get no job. It ain't like when you was locked up 40, 50 years ago and you got out and it was now they trying to hire you anywhere.
And
Cause
that's
people
what I told my husband, and I said it's not a store that I go in, and it's not a help wanted sign. They need people. These people, they don't want to work. They don't want to
people
work. They
don't
want
want
to
to
be
work.
in the street.
I
Yeah.
tell all the men because they call me from prison every day. I'm on get now. They texting me. I tell them every day. I said, man, this is low hanging fruit out here, man. This is
Hmm.
low hanging
That's a
fruit.
good way to put it.
It's easy, man. If you just apply yourself, I'm not saying that you won't get denied because there
Right,
are people, like you said, that still hold you accountable
right,
for what you did 20 something years
right.
ago. I was talking to a guy today that's in a program, and he was like, "Oh man," he was just discouraged. He said, "Man, I was looking forward to getting this job," and so I was mentoring him and talking to him, and he was talking about being expunged. I told him, I said, "Listen, that sponge stuff don't mean anything. That thing will still come up,
Right,
So,
right.
but you are right. But if you are consistent and you are
Hmm.
persistent and you don't give up,
Right.
I'm telling you, the doors will open for you.
They
And if
will.
you are willing to put some hard work in,
Hmm.
how many men I know. We don't have no problem about working for minimum wage. Listen, we was in prison, Mr. V. I'm telling you the truth. And all the men that's on here and that's been locked up, they was paying us $1.20, sometime $1.15 a day.
Hmm.
I did not say an hour.
Right. A day.
You mean to tell me that you can't get out here and work for $17 and then
Right.
come up?
That's
Because if
that
you stay on
pride.
that job, you are focused, you mess around be the manager, you mess around be
There you
running the
go.
thing.
There you
So
go.
we don't have no problem about going from the bottom. You know what I mean? I always was in the bottom. It was where I was at it was no other place but death. You couldn't get no lower than that. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Except unless you dying.
Pretty much.
So I'm all people ask me, man. I said, I'm already winning. I'm out. I'm already
There you
winning.
go.
You know what I
There
mean?
you go.
So, but yeah, there are people out here, they playing around. They are playing around. They making it easy for us. If we just get out, do what we supposed to do, stay the course, and just stay focused. Doors gonna open up to us. But I'm talking to even when I go to some of those places, I go to different events. Like you said, some you just said, they need to give us the jobs.
They do.
Give us the jobs. They don't want to do the work. Give us the money. You got all this money and all these resources. This place, this area down here in PG County and all these surrounding. This is some of the wealthiest place in the United States,
Hmm.
and they don't want to give these jobs to the men. They giving out some of them, but the people that need the help are not going to listen to them. They gonna listen to us. They know. They know we already been there. They know we've been in prison. We
Right.
got credibility. They already know us in these communities.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just definitely. I'm glad that you are going to speak at the legislation. But They don't want to change the law. I'm praying that they change the laws. They are. Let me tell you that things have been changing though. A
Yeah,
lot of men are getting out.
they are. They moving. A little slow, but they are moving.
They are changing
But
laws and everything.
and that's why we doing what we doing. Hopefully, it'll get out. They'll see us, and they'll know that there's some great men behind those walls who definitely have a purpose to serve out here and probably can do it better than the
Yes,
ones
man.
that are doing them. Well, Mr. Bobby, it has been a pleasure. That is our time. It has been a pleasure. I thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for making it out of there. Thank you for all that you do, all that you're doing. Tell little Nico, that little genius, tell him thank you for his services at such a young age.
Yes,
But
man.
you guys who are on, I want to thank you guys for spending this hour with us. We are here every third Sunday at 7 o'clock, and we will be here. We are rebranding. So keep your eyes out for that. Like, share, and subscribe so we can get this ball rolling. And my husband is on. Let's say our goodbyes, babe.
Bravo.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you
Appreciate.
opening up, man, about your journey and your growth, man, and what you're doing now to rebuild your life at. All I definitely hope, man, to be able to be in them in that shadow. You already know what it is. The struggle real. Feel me?
I know,
I
man. I just want to
definitely,
say,
man, appreciate you, bro. Definitely appreciate you.
yeah,
And
man.
for those that's listening, you know, these type of stories that are being presented here, man, they remind you that incarceration don't just affect one person. You know what I mean? It affects family, communities, generations, everything. You know what I mean? But it also reminds us that people can change, heal, learn, and come home with a purpose. You know what I mean? Every man that's been on here so far, you see they came out there with purpose. They ain't come out there dragging and lagging or slacking. You know what I mean? So this gave them an opportunity to focus and visualize what they wanted, and the men coming out there to get it. And Bobby just another example of what this actually was built to destroy, actually built. So I appreciate you, bro, man. You stay focused and remain solid out there.
man, I just want to say thank you, y'all, man. I know we talking to a lot of people listening, but they don't know that, man. They don't really know the struggle. You know, I seen you every day. You know what I mean? One
Yeah,
thing I can say, man, you ain't never change up. You always been the same though, day for day. You know what I mean? You always been positive. You accomplished a lot of things. I remember a lot of stuff you doing. You got your paralegal degree. You know what I mean? You was doing all types of stuff, programs.
well, still,
You
well,
know what I
still
mean?
striving. Still got the little business, everything. Yeah,
You got
absolutely.
business. I remember, man, you had a catalog. I said, man, this man
Hmm.
selling. This man, you got a catalog approved by the prison. I said, you had your own store. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But man,
bro.
I want to say, man, this is a great accomplishment that you're doing this behind the wall, you and your wife. And man, I want to just, man, congratulate y'all as well. And I just want to just thank you for uh just have me as a guest. And I'm always gonna support you. You know what I mean? You call me, man, I always pick your calls up. Or if I'm busy, I will, get back to you. But I'm just grateful, man. And anytime you need me, I'm gonna show up. And I want to say
All
to
right.
your wife, man, Miss Davida, you are a trooper. You know what I mean? Just being a wife, and really, I know this is tough on you. Him being behind that wall daily, and you still pushing. You know what I mean? You still supporting. You still fighting. And man, I just want to just salute you, because it's a real serious thing. You
It
know,
is.
it is very serious, and it's a whole lot of women that are supporting the men. And because I mean, we great men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one situation. You know what I mean? Also, we got men behind the wall that are innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As well. So I just want to just thank you also, man, for just showing, that a wife can really stand with a man, despite of all the struggles and just being in prison. And I want to tell you, anytime you need me, I support this chap. Listen,
Thank you.
I'm going to send it to me. I'm going to put it on my website. Listen, I support anything you need me to do. So I just want to thank you as well. And God
Okay.
bless y'all as well.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Um,
All right, babe.
all right, bless up. Everybody have a good night. Stay strong till next time. Continue fighting for freedom and keep your peace.
All right,
Thank
guys.
everybody for supporting.